Good morning. It is great to see you. Welcome to Unity of Phoenix. My name is Richard Maraj. I'm the senior minister here, and it's great to see you all. Welcome, everybody.
And my name is Jimmy Scott. I'm pastoral care minister here. Pleasure to be here with you this morning as well. Our intention for this morning's service is that each person here is able to experience the fullness of the divinity that is within them. That makes this service a synergistic experience, which means all of us create this service together. So we're glad you're here.
Amen. So now let's affirm together our mission statement. It'll appear up on the screen, and let us affirm it together. Unity of Phoenix is a loving spiritual community that welcomes all people and honors all paths to God. We are dedicated to transforming lives by inspiring and awakening individuals to discover God's Spirit within them. So everyone just take a deep breath into that. Open yourself for an amazing experience, and let's all rise now and make a joyful noise as we sing our opening song.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. I can feel the touch of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Just a simple reminder that the presence and the power of God is always with us, no matter where we are. But that power and that presence is multiplied when we all unite our consciousness together in prayer and in worship and in meditation. So as we begin this process together, I want to encourage you to get comfortable in your seat and to take a deep, refreshing breath. And for the next few moments, just settle down into your consciousness. Set aside all of your concerns and cares. And just allow yourself to be fully present to yourself and to this moment and to this process of prayer wherein we recognize that we are much more than this physical being that we travel around as. There is a spirit in us that heals us, and that strengthens us, and that literally transforms us when we are willing to surrender to its guidance and to its direction. And so in the next few moments, if you're willing to just get quiet and reflective and prayerful and meditative, we can put this divine spirit to the test. And allow it to open those proverbial windows of heaven and pour out its blessings in many different ways. So one more deep, refreshing breath. And in the stillness. in our awareness of the Spirit of the divine within us and all around us. Our senses are heightened. We become more and more in tune with all of life. And so for these brief few moments of connection, this time together, we give thanks for all the blessings that come our way, that have come our way, and that will continue to come our way. We give thanks, and so it is, and amen.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
Morning again, everyone. And a shout out and a welcome to everyone who tunes in and watches us online. So there was this nun who worked for a home healthcare agency, and she was making her rounds and visiting all her patients when she ran out of gas. Luckily for her, there was a gas station not far down the road, and so she walked there to see if she could borrow one of those cans to fill it up enough so she could start it and go actually fill the entire tank. And so she went there, and then unfortunately the attendant only had one of those cans available, but he had loaned it out. And he said, well, if you just stick around for a while, if we had about a half hour, the can will be back. And she said, no, I need to make my round, so let me try and figure something out. So she goes back to the car to see if there's anything she could put a little bit of gas in just to help her start and go fill it up at the station. And she's looking through all of her stuff, and she comes across this new bedpan she's going to take to her one of her patients. So she walks that bedpan to the gas station, fills it up with enough, and then she carefully walks back to the car and then starts pouring that little bit of gas in. And two men come walking by, and they look at each other, and they're just absolutely amazed and in awe of what they're seeing. And the one guy says, wow, now that is what I call faith. And so today, we're talking about faith and confidence. And I think it took a lot of faith and confidence to tell a bedpan joke this morning, let me just tell you. Or maybe it was just guts and stupidity. I'm not sure what it is, but this morning we are talking about confidence. You know, the great Norman Vincent Peale, who wrote the book The Power of Positive Thinking, once said that without a humble and reasonable confidence in our own powers, a belief in ourselves and faith in our abilities, we cannot ever be happy or successful. Helen Keller once said that we could not achieve anything. We cannot achieve anything without hope and confidence. Michael Jordan had confidence that he could hit the winning shot. Jerry Seinfeld has confidence that he can make audiences laugh. Stephen King has confidence that he can write a great mystery that will be a great seller. Confidence is an amazing thing. It changes how we walk and how we talk. There is an energy and a presence that absolutely makes a difference in how we perform, in how effective we are, in how joyful we feel, how energized we are, and the difference we make in our relationships, in our career, and in all the things that we do. Confidence is an amazing ingredient for a happy and successful life. And whether it is confidence that you can lose the weight, or confidence that you can increase your income, or confidence that you can improve your golf game, or confidence that you can work out the conflict in your family, or confidence that you'll be the top salesperson, or confidence that you'll get the promotion, there is something amazing and powerful about this quality we call confidence. You know, it says in the Bible, let us then with confidence draw near the throne of grace. Again, in Hebrews it says, therefore do not throw away your confidence, which has a great reward. And again, in Hebrews 13 it says, let us then confidently say, the Lord is my helper, I will not fear. How many people believe that confidence is a powerful and important thing for a happy and successful life? How many people here ever lost your confidence? How many people here would say that there's an area of your life that it would behoove and benefit you to work on and help develop a greater level of confidence? Anybody? You know, confidence is this thing. It is a state of being that has a level of certainty. It is a level of knowing, a level of being sure and confident that you have what you need to succeed in whatever endeavor. It is an absolute faith, it is a belief, it is an optimism, it is an expectancy, an anticipation that your hypothesis, that your prediction or your course of action, you absolutely feel that it will be of benefit and it will help bring you the best outcome. Confidence kind of represents a being certain and a knowing. And as powerful as it is to have that confidence, and as beneficial as it is, there is an absolutely paradoxical and opposite quality that is just as important in our success and happiness. Jim Collins, in his book, Good to Great, kind of touches on it a little bit when he says that at a level 5 leadership level, for us to be successful, it takes two seemingly opposing and contradictory qualities to be successful. And he describes them as a high achievement drive and humility. And the high achievement drive is knowing what your vision is, knowing what you want, and having the confidence to go after it no matter the obstacles. And the second one is the humility of knowing what you don't know. Knowing that you don't have all the understanding, all the answers, or all the talent to make it happen. Humility is a being comfortable with knowing that you don't know, and an openness and a willingness to ask the questions and seek the answers that will help you get a greater understanding to have the best outcome. Confidence has this idea of being strong, of being certain, of being sure, of being assertive. And humility in asking questions seems to be soft. It seems to be passive and uncertain, and to be an example of doubt, asking questions because you're uncertain. And yet both of these qualities, the confidence and humility, are absolutely vital for us to have a happy and successful life. So we're in the second part of our series, The Paradox of Life, where the author, Mark Lesser, says that life is about like being a tightrope walker. There are certain things to balance. There are contradictory goals and opposing and paradoxical ideas and beliefs that happen that kind of throw us off all the time. And sometimes we want to resist some of these imbalances. We want to resist these things that throw us off. But he says the best thing to do is to actually embrace these paradoxes. Bring them in and find the way and let them force you to adjust and to open yourself and expand yourself so that you will have a greater level of peace with less resistance, a greater awareness, a greater understanding, and a fuller and richer experience of life. Last week, we started with know yourself, forget yourself. And the two skills were about practicing self-awareness by knowing who you are and paying attention to who you are. And the second one was about letting go. Letting go and actually being willing to listen, forgetting yourself by being willing to listen to others, and finally stepping into the unknown and taking the hero's journey. Today, we're kind of continuing in the path of the balancing of the certainty and uncertainty and the known and the unknown. Because from knowing yourself, we're talking about being confident in yourself. And from forgetting yourself, we are looking at the unknown and being willing to ask ourselves some questions. And so, being yourself, and I mean knowing yourself, it was about really understanding what we want and who we are. But to be confident in yourself, it is actually to believe in yourself. So go a little bit deeper. Not just know yourself and know what you want, but to go deeper and actually believe in yourself. I saw a cartoon and it had Santa Claus in it, and the kid was sitting on Santa Claus' lap, and the kid looks at Santa and he says, "Do you believe in yourself?" And I think it's a good and important question. The question is, how much do you believe in yourself? Marie Curie was born in 1867 in Poland. She became a naturalized citizen of France. She was an amazing scientist. She actually developed radioactivity and coined that exact word. She developed she discovered polonium and radium. And she became the first woman in 1903 to win a Nobel Peace Prize. And then in 1911, she became the first woman to win two Nobel Prizes in science, one for chemistry, one for physics. And she just was an amazing individual. Imagine being a woman back then in the late 1800s, early 1900s, to achieve that level of success, the only woman to win the Nobel Prize and to win twice. And here's what she said: "Life is not easy for any of us. But what of that? We must have perseverance and, above all, confidence in ourselves. We must believe that we are gifted for something, and that thing must be attained." Do you believe that you are gifted for something? Do you believe in yourself and have confidence in yourself that you have an amazing talent to share with the world and you are here to do great and amazing things? You know, in the book of Jeremiah, it says, "For surely I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans to prosper you, not harm you." So it says clearly in the Bible that God has a plan and a purpose for our lives. We hear that all the time. The question is, do you believe it? There's a difference between hearing it and believing it. You know, Jesus said, "He who believes in me shall do the works that I do, and even greater works than these." And you know what he meant by that? He meant, if you believe in the Spirit of God in you, the way I've believed in the Spirit of God in me, if you believe through that Spirit, you shall do the things that I do, and even greater than these. And again, do you believe in the Spirit of God in you to the point that you would be able to do the things that Jesus did, and even greater? I love what it says in the book of Philippians. "I can do all things through him who strengthens me." I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Let's say that together. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe that that power is in you, that Spirit is in you, that giftedness is in you, that greatness is in you? And are you willing to believe it? Here's my favorite scripture. I do use it once a year, and I just love it because I think it shows more than anything else how powerful you are, how powerful we all are. I'm going to read it twice. It's from the book of Matthew, chapter 21, verse 21 and 22. Here's what it says. It's when Jesus cursed the fig tree, and the disciples said, "Why did you do that?" And here's what he said. "Truly I tell you, if you have faith and do not doubt, not only will you do what was done to the fig tree, but even if you say to this mountain, 'Be lifted up and thrown into the sea,' it will be done. Whatever you ask in prayer with faith, you will receive." Now I want to read it to you again, and I want to emphasize one word. I'm going to read the exact same thing again, and I'm going to emphasize one word, and I just want you to notice the difference. "Truly I tell you, if you have faith and do not doubt, not only will you do what was done to the fig tree, but even if you say to this mountain, 'Be lifted up and thrown into the sea,' it will be done. Whatever you ask in prayer with faith, you will receive." You think it's a coincidence Jesus used the word "you" 6 times in 2 sentences? You think it's a coincidence? Or do you think he was really trying to emphasize how powerful you are? And what this scripture says is you are so powerful that, like the fig tree, whatever you curse will wither. That's how powerful you are. You are so powerful, you can say to this mountain, whatever obstacle is in your life, that you can say, be lifted up and thrown into the sea. You're so powerful, you can remove obstacles. And this also says you are so powerful, whatever you ask in prayer, with faith, you will receive. That is how powerful you are. And the question is, do you believe it? Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in the Spirit of God in you? Do you believe in the potential in you? Do you believe in the greatness in you? Do you believe? Are you willing to go to that deeper level of confidence and belief in yourself? I believe God has a plan and purpose for my life. Half voice together. I believe God has a plan and a purpose for my life. Take a deep breath. I believe with God all things are possible. Together. I believe with God all things are possible. Deep breath. I believe I can do all things through God who strengthens me. Together. I believe I can do all things through God who strengthens me. Deep breath. I believe in myself. Together. I believe in myself. Take a deep breath. First thing we need to do to increase our confidence is to spend some time in believing ourselves, believing in ourselves, and believing that God has a plan and a purpose, and an amazing spirit and greatness in each of us. And the second thing we need to do is we need to have an intention to improve and a desire to get better. Because as Madame Curie said, life ain't easy for anybody. It is not. That we need perseverance to bring out that greatness. Just because you say, I believe, doesn't mean it's just all going to start falling into place. That's the start. But there has to be an intention to improve and a desire to keep learning and getting better and better. Arnold Schwarzenegger says something really interesting about the power of intention and the desire to get better. He said that, whenever you're working out, whatever activity you're doing, sometimes we listen to music while we're doing it. He says that if you do the very same activity but have an intention that your muscles will get stronger, and he said actually visualize the muscles getting as big as you want them to while you're doing that same activity. He says the same activity actually is multiplied significantly and more beneficial to you when there's intention at the same time as the effort. Anybody believe that? Would you agree with that? It is amazing. You know the 10,000 hour rule, Malcolm Gladwell thing, that says it takes 10,000 hours of effort and work at something to become a genius at it? Besides being disheartening and overwhelming at one level, what's impressive about it, what it is saying is that when you put in that time and practice and effort, you will get better. But here's the thing it's really saying. It's not just it's time and effort, but time and effort plus intention. That when you do an activity with an intention to improve, an intention to learn, an intention to succeed, an intention to get better, that intention with the effort and activity will actually transform and uplift your life in great ways. It will give you a level of confidence and greater experience and wisdom. And in fact, it will also give you the power to persevere. You know why? Because nobody gets it right all the time. We have missteps, mistakes, things go wrong, things tend to fall apart. And when we do, sometimes we want to give up. And no, she's saying persevere. Keep your intention. Learn from those mistakes. Have the courage to stay strong and keep going. Michael Jordan, we'll all agree, was probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest basketball player ever. And he had this commercial where he had, I have missed 23 last second shots. I've missed 1,000 free throws. All this miss thing. And he said, because I have succeeded because I failed. And he didn't even make his high school basketball team. And what it shows is that when you have an intention to succeed, when you have a perseverance and drive, that those failures don't stop you. They make you stronger. They make you wiser. They make you greater. They make you better. They make you more determined. So is there something in your life that isn't working as well as you'd like right now? And are you going to let that take you down, or will you have the intention to keep getting better and the courage to keep learning from it and getting stronger? Because that will increase our confidence. The reason Jordan was so confident is because he'd missed and done that before. He knew what it was like. Jerry Seinfeld's confident to make people laugh because he's been there before. He's made all the mistakes. That's what gives us confidence, is in all the times that don't go so great, but persevering and having the attention, it gives us a higher level of experience and confidence and knowledge and ability. Let's talk about going deeper into our confidence. Confidence seems to be knowing and being sure, but confidence is also about being uncertain if we let ourselves go that deep. Here's a Zen story. I just wanted to share it with you. One teacher is walking along, and another comes along and says, "Where are you going?" The second teacher responds, "I'm going on a pilgrimage." The first teacher replies, "What is the purpose of your pilgrimage?" The other responds, "I don't know." The first one concurs, "Not knowing is the most intimate." Well, that's okay. Nobody understands Zen stories. It wasn't the point. Nobody does. But here's the interesting thing, is typically when we hear, "I don't know," it's almost like it's failure. It's almost, "I don't know" is weakness. It's like you don't understand, you don't quite get it, there's something I'm missing. And when we say "I don't know," we feel, "Oh, I better know what I don't know so I can feel good about myself, because I don't know, so I can't really feel good about myself." But here's what the person, the teacher who evaluates a story says: could valuing and embracing this dilemma of not knowing itself be the true purpose of the pilgrimage? And an essential part of all transitions and an important part of life. Every one of us, no one knows what's going to happen next. The uncertainty is a part of the journey and experience of life. And instead of hating it and resisting it, anybody ever feel like, "Oh, geez, I need to know all the answers. I got to get this plan all set, and I got to know all the details"? Any people who need to know and have a little control freakiness about them? Anybody ever have some control? Who you just have to know. And the question is there a place in you that can let go and have confidence in the unknown? Can you find, like it says, the not knowing is the most intimate thing. Think about that. Not knowing is one of the most sacred, is one of the most reverential, amazing experiences, because what you have to do is let go and trust that the universe knows what it's doing. That life is supporting you and there for you. And you don't have to do it clenched fists. You can actually relax and feel safe not knowing. To feel secure in the uncertainty. And to feel relaxed and comfortable in the unknown. So think about something in your life that isn't as certain. You have no idea what the answer is. Just take a deep breath for a moment. And can you find a place of confidence and peace, even though you don't know how that's going to turn out? And can you trust the universe that even though you don't know what the answer is, that you feel confident that there will be an answer, that it will work out, and you can just let go, relax, feel safe, secure, and feel the confidence and comfort of not knowing. It takes confidence to not know. Not just to know. And one of the things about the confidence of not knowing is the willingness to realize, I don't really know. And then to have the confidence to begin to ask the questions, to seek some answers in some different ways. Asking questions, sometimes we think, is a sign that we don't know. Someone has no idea. They're unprepared. They're not that smart. They're not that intelligent. They clearly need some help. Anybody ever been in a class when you were in high school or even now, and the instructor, the teacher says some stuff, and then they say, "Anybody have any questions?" And you don't know some stuff, but you're afraid to raise your hand to ask a question? Anybody? Raise your hand if you're afraid to raise your hand. Okay. And so, isn't it amazing? And you know why? Because asking a question can seem really vulnerable. It can feel like I'm going to expose myself. It can feel like, oh, I'm going to show people that I really don't know. And we're scared to do it. And yet, there is so much untapped wisdom and genius and greatness that's available if we would be willing to be okay that we don't know and be willing to be vulnerable to actually ask the question. Many years ago, I had this karate instructor and mentor and dear friend named Louis Price. When one of the many things that Louis taught me was the power of questions. And he would say, Richard, there is a genius in you. There's genius that we have, and questions are the way we trigger this genius. He said, you ever had a question in your head that you asked? You know, like, who was that actor that played Jed in the Beverly Hillbillies? And then you can't really think of it at the moment, but the next day you're driving down or you're washing dishes and you think, oh, Buddy Ebsen. I hate that I'm giving me an example that's totally dating myself, but anyway. And then, so what Louis would say to me, he said, Richard, there's genius and the infinite intelligence and wisdom of God. The mind of God is available, but you need to tap into it with your questions. So he would say, every night, write down a question on a pad by your bed and just go to sleep. And while you sleep, you have triggered the universe and it will bring you your answer. So I'd start writing down these questions, and amazingly, and whether it was the next morning or a couple of days, answers would start to come. If you ask questions, it is amazing. Like, is this the right and best thing for me to do? Is this a good time for me to start that business? What is it that I need to heal and let go? What is holding me back from moving forward? What do I need to learn from this situation? There are so many amazing questions we can ask. How can I increase my income? How can I live my life with more ease and grace? All kinds of questions. But the question is, are you willing to ask? Are you willing to tap into that infinite intelligence of God? In the book of James, here's what it says. If any of you is lacking in wisdom, ask God, who gives generously to all and ungrudgingly, and it will be given to you. It's the wisdom of the universe is available. The question is, are you willing to ask the question, to tap into that infinite wisdom and call it forth? Anthony Robbins says something. He says, successful people ask better questions, therefore they get better answers. Here's an example of some not so great questions. Why me? Why does this stuff always happen to me? How come I always get the short end of the stick? How come this stuff always doesn't work out for me? Not the best questions. Some good questions might be, how can I be more successful in this particular endeavor? How can I learn from this experience so I can have a new experience instead? You know, how can we improve our level of effectiveness as a team or an organization? You know, how can I be a more kind and patient person in rush hour traffic? How can I be a better partner? How can I be a better leader? How can I be better at listening? There are unlimited questions. The question is, what genius do you want to tap into? What area of your life are you not feeling confident or capable in that would be good for you to tap in and ask that question, to call forth the genius and the wisdom of the universe? Confidence isn't just knowing everything. Sometimes confidence is knowing that you don't know and being willing to ask so you can know, so you can widen your perspective, widen your understanding. Thich Nhat Hanh says we should ask the people in our lives questions. Like, what do you think? How are you feeling? What is the best way I can support you? And here's one that he writes. He says, to say to our loved ones, please tell me, how can I love you better? Asking questions to ourselves, asking questions to the universe, asking questions to our loved ones opens channels of genius, of insight, of understanding, of possibilities, of opportunities. It's there. The question is, are we willing to be comfortable and confident enough to ask, to be vulnerable enough, to be open enough to just ask? Every one of us has the opportunity to have a happy and successful life. And there are paradoxes that sometimes don't make sense. But if we are willing to embrace the paradoxes and balance them, amazing things can happen. Be confident. Question everything. First, be confident by believing in yourself, by having the intention to keep growing, and being confident with not knowing. And secondly, question everything by just asking and being vulnerable of the things you don't know and you want to know to the universe, to yourself, to others, and just allow those answers from the infinite mind of God to come forth. The paradoxes of life are there, but if you balance them, they will bless you in amazing ways. Be confident. Question everything. God bless you all.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is.
Woo! Thanks, kids. Great seeing you. Everybody, let's all rise and sing. Hey, kiddo.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
God bless everybody. Great day and a wonderful week. Hey, how are you?